learning and doing personal growth. You read a book, that was a good book, put it on the shelf. Forget about it, go about doing the same shit you're doing before you read that book, right? So it didn't really do the work that it could have done for you. So to take full advantage of whatever you're reading and to really get the most help out of the self-help books that you're reading, bring it into your brain, into your being in multiple ways.
Welcome to Garner Growth. Welcome to Garner Growth.
Okay, let me do this again. What's up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Garner Growth. I want to share with you one of my growth hacks. It's something that I just started using this year, simply because we are in an amazing age where we have mastery at our fingertips. We have access to so much information. Like, imagine if we were like back in the ancient times. I'm not going to give you a date because I'm not good with dates. History is not my strongest subject. But let's say, back, you got to go to Timbuktu. We got to go to the Library of Alexandria in order to learn mastery from masters, right? We got to go on a month long, maybe even a year long caravan through the desert, riding on camels and shit, almost dying to go get this information. We don't have to do that anymore. Like, we can just go type in the cue, type in the question, and we have so much information at our fingertips. And we take it for granted because any question that just pops into your head, you're like, let me Google it. Let me ask Siri. Let me ask ChatGPT, and you got it. And then because it's so readily available, you kind of just like, you kind of store it maybe, but like maybe store it for later use. But for the most part, it's like in and out. You kind of got that instant gratification of getting your question answered. But when it comes to personal growth, which that's what the journey you're on, because that's why you're here, right? Watching this kind of content. So when it comes to personal growth, you have the ability to really take information that hundreds, thousands of people, millions of people have taken lifetimes to convey into words, to learn, to consolidate information and create this story, this path of growth for you. And it's free too, It's not free because we all know that we're trading our attention for information. That's what it is. But at the same time, you make yourself a good deal. All right, you want my attention? I'm going to trade you my attention for some information that's going to help me to improve my life. It's actually going to help me to learn how to pay better attention, how to focus, how to have better mental health and mental fitness. I'm going to trade you for some information that's going to make me improve my health, improve my relationships, overall help me become a higher functioning human. I'm going to trade you my attention to see some parts of the world that I might never be able to travel to learn about different cultures and expand my awareness of my place in the world and how much diversity there is in the world. Those are good deals. So make yourself good deals, all right? So we have mastery at our fingertips, and then we have books. So many books. You have books in digital, books for print. Like right behind this camera, I have my bookshelves, and I have books. And I read them, usually one at a time. One of my flaws, I guess, is I don't read for pleasure. I watch for pleasure, like I watch shows, I watch movies and stuff, but I don't read for pleasure. I haven't done that since I recorded my last audiobook for this author, which Gray Huffington, look her up. Her books are really good. It's Black romance novels, I would say. Yeah, romance. They're really spicy, really saucy, a lot of drama. The last one I narrated for her was about this family, like this black mafia family, very smart, like everybody in the family had a degree, very powerful, really good love scenes. Like there was some love scenes that I recorded in my closet and I was like, I'm gonna re-record that one. Gray Huffington, look her up. And you might notice that some of the books are my voice. Yes, I should put a link below. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. But yeah, so that's the only thing I've done as far as reading for enjoyment. Everything else is self-help books. And it's not because, I don't like reading for enjoyment. Like I'm just a slut for personal growth. I love it. And ever since I was a kid, I've just loved how we work, love finding out how we work, very curious about how we work as humans. And myself, whenever I'm in a storm, some kind of storm, my thought is to get out of it, find a way out of the wind and the debris and the clouds. And however I find that out, I take notes and then I share it with you. One of my growth hacks is to combine books, because I do usually go for books first because I find that it's a relaxing thing to do, reading, and it sticks in my mind more. I like to read. And some people like to listen to books. I find that if I listen to a book, it goes in and out. In and out. Unless it's in person. In person listening, then I'm a really good auditory learner. So you just got to know how you work. It might be kinesthetic, auditory, blend of both, tactile. You might need to do it. Really, the best way to learn is to blend a little bit of all that together. So I thought of one thing else. It's a tangent. So I'm going to put it in a box and I'll bring it back. So combining books with YouTube. So I'm going to give you an example. There's this book called The Untethered Soul. And then the second book, same author, Living Untethered. And they're by Michael Singer. I hope I'm correct. I should know this. I listen to him all the time. And then he has a podcast on YouTube by Sounds True. Sounds True, they publish a lot of self-help stuff and work with a lot of the, teachers out there, masters, to publish their things. So that's on YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll read the books. I'll read the books again if I really want to take it in. These two books I just gave you, Living Untethered and The Untethered Soul, are very thin. They're small, easy to read books. It's almost like duh when you read it, but you need to read it in that simple language in order to not have to decipher it. There's another author that I read his books, and he's really smart and he talks really smart. So his diction is a little more elevated. He uses, words that I have to think about, what does that mean? And it just takes a little bit more interpretation as I'm reading. I have to put more brain power into understanding what he's saying. Whereas Michael Singer's books, he's just talking to you straight. What are you doing? And it's really personable, really relatable, and repetitive in a way that's not redundant, but repetitive so that you get it. And so I really appreciate that. So I read his books, and then I'll reread them and take notes or highlight. You can do either one. Writing for me really stands out, really makes things stick for me. And then I listen to his podcast now. So I read those books. I'm not going to read them again for now because I have another book that I'm reading. And then I listen to his podcast. So his podcast is saying the same things that were in those books, but with different anecdotes, different examples, just different ways of going about delivering the same message. So you get the same exact teachings in different ways. And that saturates kind of the learning field. And that's kind of how I describe it is the subject, the reason I'm reading these books is for a reason, right? Surrender, getting better at letting things go, detachment, and being able to navigate challenges with ease. So that is the learning field that I'm creating. And the foundation of that field, I have these books, and then I am going to build up this learning field with the podcast, which reiterate the same message in different ways. And so when I'm done, say 90 days from now, could be 30, could be 90 days, I have a full understanding of what he intended to deliver in that book, or how I would interpret those things, because people are going to interpret it differently and relate to it differently, right? But by me really saturating my learning field with the same content that's delivered in different ways, then I'm going to really receive it. Whereas The other way of reading or learning and doing personal growth, you read a book, that was a good book, put it on the shelf. Forget about it, go about doing the same shit you're doing before you read that book, right? So it didn't really do the work that it could have done for you. So to take full advantage of whatever you're reading and to really get the most help out of the self-help books that you're reading, bring it into your brain, into your being in multiple ways. One thing that I did change up with my workouts this year is I don't listen to trap music at every workout. It's not always trap. Sometimes it's like a Mapiano, house music, anything like, with a fast tempo. But like if I'm lifting weights, like, I don't know, I have to call in Future and ASAP Ferg. Like it happens. But this year I'm listening to podcasts and self-help stuff like, Zen Masters, Alan Watts, and I'm like sweating my ass off. You can't even tell I'm working hard at the gym, but I'm listening to Alan Watts. It's a very relaxing voice. And I thought it would take away from my my fire and energy in the workout, and it doesn't. It actually makes me a lot more focused on my form and present in the moment when I'm working out. It just has like a different effect. So I like it. I was doing that today. I was listening to Michael Singer today. Yeah, while I was on the Stairmaster, and then I started to lift weights and ASAP Ferg. Yeah. So I'm a versatile person. What can I say? But yeah, that's my hack. And then I'm gonna pull that tangent back that I wanted to share with you guys. We have reading the books, reading them again and taking notes, and then listening to podcasts or audio content from the same author, same subject, and just saturating your learning field with that. What was I gonna say? It was something about like journaling. I swear I put that in a box. I put it in a box. I said, yo, Tangent, stay here. I'm gonna bring you back when I need you. Tangent won't come back. What was Tangent? Okay, well, I'm gonna give that Tangent a moment to come back. But while I'm saying that, working out and learning is an effective way of retaining information, because when you're working out, you are in your brainwaves are in gamma state. So they're, elevated brainwave state where you retain information. You retain the information more because you're in a hyper-focused state as far as like focusing on the movement that you're doing. So what happened was I lost the last part of that video. I don't even know where it is. I'm gonna give these 5 points how to maximize any self-help book that you're reading, okay? So the first thing is to read the book. Read it all the way through just to get it in, then read it again, but take notes and highlight the important parts. So this is more like the study portion of you reading it. Then you're going to find journal prompts either in the book, because sometimes a lot of the self-help books have journal prompts in them, or some kind of inspiration and ways to reflect on whatever you're getting from that book into your real life, your daily life, current habits, your current struggles, whatever they are. How is this book going to help you, and how are you going to apply? Sorry, the oven is ready. How are you going to apply what you are getting out of this book to your real life? And journaling really is a way for you to convey, it's a way for you to process your thoughts and your emotions, because you have to put them into words. In order to put something into words, you have to feel them and then interpret them. And if we don't ever write about how we feel and what we're thinking, a lot of times we don't really fully connect with them and we don't really process them. So it's a good way to process things. So we read and take notes and highlight, then we journal about it, and then we find one habit, just one, because you don't want to overload yourself and you want to be realistic. How can I implement what I'm getting from this book into my real everyday life? And then use a habit tracker. So I use Habit Tracker, I think that's what it's called. It's an app. So every day from 9 to 5 p.m. every hour, I get a notification on my phone to meditate. And so I'm not going to just sit down and do a full meditation. I might just pause and take a deep breath. I might check my body for tension and melt it away. I might drop my shoulders. But in some way, it's bringing awareness to myself and being mindful every hour. So that, after using it for so long, now it's automatic. And I'm having more moments of presence and building more body awareness and all that. So read and take notes or highlight, journal about it, pick one habit that you can implement into your life. And lastly, talk about it. Have conversations about whatever you're reading. It's like informal book clubs. I have like 3 of them. They don't even know. But you have conversations about what you're reading. And also the best way to learn something is to teach it. Regurgitate what you're reading until you actually understand it, and you're no longer regurgitating it. You're actually just coming from a place of understanding. And when you're sharing it, it comes from feeling connected with the content versus just kind of like regurgitating it. And that's like a really natural process for anything that we learn. You are going to start by regurgitating, remembering, memorizing, and then you'll go into actually expressing the knowledge from inside you, from your interpretation and your experience of it. That is the 5 personal growth hacks to maximize any personal growth, any self-help book that you're reading. It really works. It really does. And, we discussed the learning field earlier. Is that what I call it? It's all about saturating your learning field with that content so that it really gets in and you don't just read the book one time, put it down and forget about it. Like, you actually make that thing work for you. You make those $11 work for you, okay? Or $20. Sometimes books are a little more expensive, but that's a small price to pay for something that could be life-changing. And a lot of times when you're like, oh, I read this book, I read so many books and it just didn't do anything for me. You have to make it work for you. The book's not going to do anything for you. It's just pages of words and, something that, it's knowledge, right? It is resource. It's something that you can use, but it's like having a toolbox. It can sit there, but unless you start picking up the tools and using them to fix things and make things, they're still just things in a box. So it's up to you to use those tools in your life and make them work. And that's what gives them like this exponential value that goes way beyond the $11. But it's great. I think it's wonderful that we have the ability to do that. And you really got to take advantage of it. It's like there's less and less excuses to be suffering. There's less and less excuses to be feeling unfulfilled or having disconnection within yourself. Like, we have the ability to learn to fix our own problems and heal ourselves. So like, why not? It don't cost a lot. A lot of this stuff is free. I'm kind of free, kind of. But it will cost you subscriptions and likes and comments, all right? So let me know in the comments what you got out of this video, if it was really helpful, if you have any questions around personal growth hacks. Remember the book too that I recommended earlier. So really check out Michael Singer's book. His podcast is on here. All the content is just really, really valuable. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you subscribe. I listen to your comments. It does have a lot of value, and my aim is to really improve the mental fitness of my community so that we can just live fuller lives and feel connected. That's everything, is to feel connected. Love you guys. Leave with love. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Spread the love. Bye.
Like, subscribe, share the growth.
If you are not ready for the day, it cannot always be